Welcome back. In this video, you're going to build a temperature converter. So we'll start off with a temperature in Fahrenheit, and it's going to be your job to convert it over to Celsius and Kelvin, printing both of the converted values to the screen. Let's kick things off by creating a new file for this little project. Right inside of the basics directory, we can call this one tempconversion.js. And in here, we're really only going to need about 5 lines of code to get this done. We're going to create a variable for Fahrenheit. We'll do that part together, Fahrenheit, and we'll start that off at something like 32 degrees. And then it's going to be your job to calculate and print Celsius. So right here, calculate Celsius and store in Celsius variable. And then you will print that value. And you'll do the exact same thing for Kelvin. You will calculate the Kelvin value and store in variable. Last up, print that value. So we're going to be using the Fahrenheit variable in the calculation for both Celsius and Kelvin. So if I were to change Fahrenheit, I would expect the printed output to change as well. When it comes to the actual formula to convert the temperature to Celsius and Kelvin, there are a lot of great websites for that. If we just Google Fahrenheit to Celsius, we can head over to rapidtables.com. They show the formula you can use for converting a temperature in Fahrenheit over to Celsius. This is similar to what we're going to do inside of our program. Obviously, though, this would be where we input the Fahrenheit variable's value. Now, there's also one over here for Fahrenheit to Kelvin that you're going to use for that conversion. And if you scroll down just a little bit, you can test your work with some of these example values. For example, 50 degrees Fahrenheit is 10 degrees Celsius. So let's go ahead and switch back over to Visual Studio Code. And I'll give you the expected output for 32 degrees. 32 degrees in Fahrenheit should be 0 degrees in Celsius and 273.15 in Kelvin. We're not going to worry about rounding those decimal places, so don't worry if those are off at the moment. Take as much time as you need to get this one done. Run the calculations, print the values. When you're done, test your work. Make sure it actually does work, and then tweak the Fahrenheit value and make sure the other values change as expected. All right, pause the video, and when you're done, click play. All right, how'd that one go? Hopefully you were able to convert the temperature and get it showing up in the terminal. I'm going to go ahead and kick things off by converting the Celsius temperature. I'm going to delete these two comments and add the code right in here. Let Celsius equal, then right here, what are we going to set it equal to? We are going to set it equal to this formula. So we take the temperature in Fahrenheit, we subtract 32, we multiply that by 5 divided by 9. Over here, take the temperature in Fahrenheit, we subtract 32, then what do? We multiply it by 5 divided by 9. Excellent. So that is going to be the correct conversion for Celsius. Now we can go ahead and print that, or we can move on and calculate Kelvin first. And that's what I'm going to do. So let Kelvin equal, and then you needed to go over to that page, Fahrenheit to Kelvin, to get that formula. Right here, we take the temperature in Fahrenheit, we add 459.67, and then we multiply it by the exact same thing we did for Celsius. And so let's go ahead and use this formula. Let's see if I can remember that. 45967. Over here, we take the temperature in Fahrenheit, and we subtract, add, right? Add? Yes, add 45967. Then what do? Well, we take that result and we multiply it by 5 over 9, exactly like we did for Celsius. Now what do we have? Well, we have the converted values. And the last thing I wanted you to do was just to print both to the screen. And you should have used console.log for both of those. Right here, we will print out Celsius. And then we can add another one down below, console.log, in parentheses, we will print out the value of Kelvin. And there we have it. This is the final program based off of what I wanted you to do. Once again, it's okay if you might have done things slightly differently. Maybe you logged out the Celsius variable before creating the Kelvin one, and then you logged that out after. That's totally cool. The details aren't particularly important. What is important is that you were able to solve the challenge using the big picture stuff, creating the 3 variables and logging both out. Let's go ahead and test our own work by actually running the script. I'm going to switch over to the terminal. I'm going to run it node temp-conversion.js. When I run the script, what do I get for Celsius? I get 0. That is correct. What do I get for Kelvin? I get 273.15, which is indeed correct. I'm going to test this out with one more value. Let's switch 32 degrees Fahrenheit to the more temperate 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Still pretty chilly. We'll rerun the script. And right here, we get 10 degrees for Celsius and 283.15 Fahrenheit. It's currently about 11 degrees outside, and there's about a half a foot of snow on the ground, so I would take either of those 2 temperatures over the reality right now. All right, with this in place, our temperature converter is all done for the moment, but don't worry, we're going to expand on this little project as we learn more about what JavaScript can do. We're going to continue working with JavaScript in the next video. I'm excited to get to it, so let's jump right in.